What's up, everybody? Wolf from Walmart. We're back. We're back, baby, again.
Not a bad fish right there, guys.
No.
Out here catching Folsom bass right now, dude. Woo, he's a little chunker. What up, what up, what up, everybody? 'Tis I, Dave Erkey, the host of the Whole Angler Podcast. How you doing? If I sound crappy, it's because I feel crappy. And this is a rare occasion for me. I'm recording like in the middle of the day, which never happens. It was like me and the homie were talking, and I was just like, dude, don't come on my show, come on my show, please, please. And he's like, all right, and we scheduled it out perfect for the middle of the day. The wife and daughter are away at the lake, and my son's with his mom. And so I got this free time here to be here with you guys. And I just wanted to stop and say thank you to everybody that got me to this point. This person that's coming on is one of those key people. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that got me to this point. I appreciate everybody, all 10 listeners, and everybody else that's been in my corner. I genuinely appreciate your support. And I've been getting a lot of phone calls and a lot of messages and a lot of DMs recently about like everything changing. And yes, the show's not necessarily changing, just everything. There's some little things here and there that are adjusting, and I'm trying to become more official, if you will. I created a Facebook page last night. So if you guys are interested, go over. It's a Whole Angler Podcast. It's on Pages. Feel free to follow. Other than that, I don't really have a whole lot of news, but I do have this. What up, dudes and dudettes? I'm sure you're tired of hearing my voice by now, but you're going to hear it for a little bit longer because this is a shout out to the sponsor of this show, Kayak City. Kayak City has been taking care of me ever since I started getting into a boat and paddling around in the water trying to catch some fish. And when I tell you it is Kayak City, it is literally like a city of kayaks. They have Bonafide, Eddyline, Feel Free, Hobie, Jackson, Native, New Canoe, Old Town, Wilderness Systems, and so many used kayaks. I stopped trying to count them a long time ago. If you guys are looking for accessories, they have walls and walls and walls of accessories. They have one wall dedicated specifically to Yak Attack, and it is a massive wall. Kayak City is your #1 Yak Attack dealer here in Northern California. If you want to know where it is, stop by at 7812 Auburn Boulevard, Citrus Heights, CA. Roll through, say what up to James, Troy, Eric, Scott. Tell them Dave says what's up, and tell them I sent you there. Thanks for listening. Also, shout out to the Kayak Adventure Series and Drew Gregory over there. They have taken over the StreamYard, and I am much appreciative for it and them keeping me on. Also, LMNT, if you guys are looking for it, I have a code on the Instagram. I will be putting it all on the Facebook. I just haven't figured all that out yet because I'm not very smart. In fact, I will, truth be told, see all this around you or around me, all this stuff for the viewers on the YouTube. I didn't do any of this, but you know who did? This guy right here.
What up, what up, what up? 'Tis I, Brad.
Sir Bradley Hicks, how are you, sir?
Doing good. What's up, dude?
Oh, man. Dude, thank you for all this because I wouldn't be able to do any of this. Like, Brad has been my 911 for a long time.
I enjoy doing all that stuff. It's fun. I don't know.
You know what? All podcasters out there, if you guys are interested in doing some stuff and you guys want to do some StreamYard stuff or any type of fancy like intros or outros like I got, hit up Brad Hicks consulting firm. He will totally set you up with whatever you need to do. He can, run you through a few different things at a small consignment fee. You know what I'm saying?
$20 per intro.
There you go. $20 per intro and $20 per PNG file. So you guys will be set, and he'll take care of you. No problem. He's got all the time in the world to do it because he is doing nothing with his life right now. I'm just kidding. Dude, how are you?
I'm sitting here in the middle of the day doing a podcast.
What's new for you? I mean, you've been doing that for years now, right?
Well, we usually did it on Tuesday nights, but during the middle of the day, it's kind of early still. Well, I guess it's not too early, but
well, the sun is shining on my coast, and that's rare for me to be in the garage when the sun is shining. It is like 100-something degrees in here right now. So
I was gonna say it's probably hot.
Yeah.
I thought about doing this on my porch, but then I was like, nah, it's hot. That's a bad idea.
You should have been in like a kiddie pool in the backyard, just sitting there with flippers and goggles.
Like a cocktail, fake cocktail or something.
I was thinking like from the teacher from Billy Madison. You know, the guy's just swimming in the pool with the floaties.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Hell yeah, man. So, dude, thank you for coming on here first, even though this probably won't come out first. Thank you for coming on here first. I've got a lot of people that have been hitting me up about the decisions that you've been making recently, and we're definitely going to get into that for sure. But the first things first is I want to talk about young Dick Hicks. I want to talk about baby Brad. Let's hear about this, dude. Where and when were you born, man?
June 19th, 1988 in Dayton, Ohio at Miami Valley Hospital. And you know what's weird is recently it was my birthday.
Yeah.
37 years later, I was at the hospital looking at an ultrasound of my daughter.
Dude.
On my birthday.
Dude.
At the same hospital that I was born at.
Is she going to get born at the same hospital too?
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. I was
thinking about that the other day. I was like, dude, that's crazy. I didn't even cross my mind when we were there.
Well, first off, shithead, happy birthday. I love you very much. And I didn't know it was your birthday because I'm a dickhead friend. So
no, that's on purpose. I hide like my Facebook birthday and everything. I don't like people bothering me.
Yeah, I know. I get it. So, dude, how was that like a crazy experience for you to sit there and be like, the circle has like concluded, like you've fully done the circle, like this is where you started and this is where she started, like, or starting.
Yeah, it was weird to think about. Like like I said, I was sitting there thinking about it the other day, like a couple weeks later. It's like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude, that's so wild.
So
you're born in. So what did you do growing up? Like, what was your life like growing up? Like, did you guys move around? Did you guys stay in the same place? What'd you get into as a kid?
I lived in the same house for 22 years until I moved out on my own. My dad had the house before that. Before I was even born, he had the house. So he's been there probably like 30, 40 years, something like that. He outright owns the house, no house payment or anything. And he's only 50 something. So.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, he's set.
Go ahead.
He has some land down in Portsmouth, Ohio, on the Ohio River now, and they hang out there every now and then. But yeah,
dude, that's so awesome. Do you guys have property tax out there? Is that a thing in Ohio as well? Okay.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know if that was just another California like stick it to.
No, it's the government. Every state government takes their piece.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, he's just dumping property. He's just paying off a little bit of property tax. It's like on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? That's awesome. That's so rad. So okay, so you grew up brothers, sisters.
I have a bunch of siblings. So I have a sister that is 2 years younger than me, I think, or a year and a half younger. She lives in California, out by you, actually, just north of LA. Well, not close to you, but semi-close.
I passed by her the other day.
Yeah. And then I have a brother. He's 10 years younger than me. Another brother that's 12 years younger than me. And two more sisters that are 20 and 18 or 19.
Young.
Yeah.
Like, your parents
they're all half siblings other than the one that's 2 years younger than me.
Oh, okay. So they all came in like, no, they came in with stepmom.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But they feel like real siblings. Well, the two younger ones didn't. That's a crazy story, by the way.
I want to hear this.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that we're getting there. I want to hear that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, my younger brother, he's 10 years younger than me. He's probably the one I'm most closest to, just because he lives around here. My sister, living in California, we're not as close anymore. But yeah, I just went fishing with him a couple weeks ago on his boat, so that was fun.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Were you the back of the boat, or were you, because you're the little brother, you like beat him up and took the trolling motor?
No, he let me use the foot pedal.
Oh, dude.
He was like, "This is kind of nice. I haven't had anybody that knows how to work the foot pedal on the front of the boat yet." Yeah. He said he took my dad out about a month ago. And he's like, "Dad kept crashing the boat into the brush and everything." I was like, yeah, I know how to control one of these. I used to have a XI3.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's cool.
So, okay, how was it fishing with one leg? Because I feel like that's what it's like when you're on a trolling motor. I've only done it a handful of times. Guys have let me like jump on their trolling motor, and like I feel like I have to keep such a light foot on it that I'm almost fishing on one leg. Do you feel the same way, or are you just so comfortable you don't even care?
No, I think it's easy. Well, he had a seat too up there, so I was able to sit down and like just tap it if I needed to.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about these younger sisters real quick. Like, let's get into this because I'm just curious. You got your brother who you're close with. You don't
know anything about him, do you?
No. I only know a few little things that you have like let in the group chat or like we've talked about in person, but like I know minimal to none.
Yeah, so let's see, 20-year-old and 18-year-old, they just up and left. Probably it was last September. Up and left. We don't know where they went. They didn't tell anybody. They just gone. Haven't heard from them since.
Oh, dude.
All we know is they took off. They were in New Jersey because they filed for welfare.
Oh,
because they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing we know.
Wow. Dude.
So weird. Like, I might not ever see them again.
No. And that's crazy. I can't imagine what your stepmom's going through. Like, my kids, they're just gone all of a sudden.
She was upset.
Yeah.
She probably is still upset, but probably hides it well now. But every time I see them, have you guys heard from them yet? Nope. That's weird.
That's so wild. New Jersey, stand up. Go find these chicks real quick. Chicks by the name of Hicks. Go. Or what's their last name?
Hicks.
Oh yeah, there you go. Chicks by the name of Hicks. Go find them.
But we all have the same car insurance because my buddy is a car insurance guy or agent, whatever. So we found out that they were in New Jersey because one of them got in a wreck two times in a week of getting her license out there. I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Oh man. So those two are like the hellions of the crew, huh? Out of all the kids?
I don't know. I wouldn't really call them that. They're just oblivious, I guess.
They're young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like once they wise up a little bit, they'll come back or I don't know. It's just weird.
That is wild.
But I've never really been like super close with them just because like I was already moved out of the house when they were growing up. Yeah. They were babies when I was moved out, basically.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you're like, it's almost like they could be your kids basically at this point.
Yeah. Let's see. So I'm 17 years older than them. I think 37.
Oh, yeah. If you're in California, you're totally like their grandfather at this point,
Yeah.
Oh, FYI, everybody, there's probably gonna be a lot of jokes shot through this whole episode just because I love Brad and we joke a lot. In fact, this entire episode was basically put together on Snapchat instead of like a regular text or phone call. We were just Snapchatting, and then he just decided he was down, and so that's where we're at.
Yeah, that was because I send you stupid Snapchats like I do every day.
Well, I send you stupid Snapchats back. At least yours are funny. Mine are like, look, there's the floor.
Did you like the one I sent you of that song by Muse?
Yes.
I sent that to everybody. Even
my wife,
she thought it was hilarious.
I'm sitting at the table and I'm like, Kelly, Bradley, to show her. She's all, what are you doing on Snapchat? And I'm all, you'll see. And then you're like, hi. She was like, who is that? What the hell's going on here? I'm like, that's my buddy Brad. And she's like, oh.
Every time you send a Snapchat of her, she's just like her face is like over your shenanigans type expression.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, we've been together for 8 years. She's been over it for 7.5. Yeah.
That's
so
funny. Yeah. And she's just like this, like
every time. Just honestly, that's her face 90% of the time once I walk through the door. So I'm like, all right,
that's funny.
I know my place in this house. I sit with the dog. So okay, so growing up, you had a couple siblings. They're pretty far away from you though. So what were you doing as a kid? Were you Were you just running around riding bikes and setting off dynamite in toilets, or like how did that work? Like what were you getting into?
No, I actually wasn't a troublemaker, so I didn't really do other than a couple things. But there was skateboarding. We've talked about that.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yep.
I was into skateboarding a little bit. I was into basketball big time. Like my whole high school years was spent going to the park right behind my house. Like you jump the fence and you're in the football field.
Oh,
Of
tight.
the park.
Yeah.
So I would go down there and I would, we'd assemble teams and stuff, play basketball with the guys and everything. The funny thing is the high school guys, when season wasn't open there, they would come down and I would whoop on them. They're like, why don't you try out for the basketball team? I was like, well, my dad wouldn't let me miss church on Wednesday nights, and they had practice Wednesdays, so I didn't get to play high school sports for that reason. But I'm just going to toot my own horn. I would have been the best basketball player in high school.
There you go. There you go.
I don't even care.
If you're mopping them up on pickup games, then yeah, you would have been just fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
that was fun though. Like it was literally every day I was down there playing, and we had squads of people playing.
Yeah, dude. So okay, so you said your dad wouldn't let you play because of Bible study or church on Wednesday nights. So do you want to explain like what denomination, like how did that go? Being you grew up in what you're saying a religious family, so what did that look like?
I think the first memory I had of church was like when I was 5. And we started going to Cornerstone Baptist Temple or Dayton Baptist Temple at the time. Then they merged the two churches, Cornerstone and Dayton Baptist Temple. So it became Cornerstone Baptist Temple. And I grew up there for most of my life until, I don't know, the end of high school. We went to a couple different churches. I went back, got out of that church. My uncle started a church here in Heber Heights, Ohio, and I actually got to play drums there. Played drums at another church in Lebanon, Ohio. Yeah, it was fun.
Dude, so your childhood's packed because like you didn't just jump on it. I've played drums. Like I played drums as a kid, like not at church, but I played them. I think it was like I don't know. My parents gave me something to make noise with and I was down. But so you natural rhythm is not in everybody. So how did you figure out that you were good at drums, or was it just something that you got into? Like,
I don't even remember. I just remember my mom getting me a drum set when I was like 18. I think I wanted one. I don't remember. And then I just went to town. I'm all self-taught too. I never took a lesson or anything.
Oh, wow. Dude, that's rare. That's super rare. That's awesome.
I just, listened to songs and was like, all right, I'm going to play that. So like the very first song I ever learned how to play was Come As You Are by Nirvana.
Yes.
And it's like the easiest song ever to play.
Yes, dude. Oh, that's awesome. We're close to the same age. I'm a little bit older than you, but that was like my genre. Like I would listen, I'd play like Nirvana and stuff to get warmed up. And then I play like, do you remember Presidents of the United States? The band?
Future Leaders of the World, you mean?
No, Presidents of the United States. Like they did,
I don't know who they are.
They did, it's like a weird punky, weird sound, but they did they did a song called Peaches and like a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, so
I probably know it if I heard it.
Yeah, it was just more upbeat. It was and this is why I loved it, because it was all the Nirvana, like all the old Dave Grohl stuff, just faster. They literally used almost the same stuff. It was just faster. So I kind of got used to playing a little bit faster. But yeah, so basketball, church, like, and drums. So where does fishing fit into this? Like,
and video games. I was a big gamer growing up. I played a lot of Halo 2. The good old days, man.
Yes. Dude, do you still have gamer tags and stuff? Are you still like?
Oh yeah, I still play all the time. Like I played last night.
What's your gamer tag?
Detainer on Xbox Live.
Hey, all you gamers out there, go find him.
And that's actually, I got that from a song called Detainer from a band called Day of Fire.
Oh, sick.
Years ago.
Yes.
old Christian rock band. Yeah. And it means rightful owner. And I thought it was funny because like after I get done, I'd be like, you just got rightfully owned.
Oh, that's awesome. So, okay. So you're gaming. So you're indoors, you're playing. You're outdoors, you're playing. You got the music. Everything's going on. Like, at some point, you got into fishing. Was that like later on in childhood, or was that earlier in childhood?
It was earlier. One of the earliest memories I have was on the boat going fishing with my dad down in Kentucky at Cave Run Lake. And it was middle of the night. I don't know what we were doing, if we were camping or what. Middle of the night, he ends up catching a muskie. He goes, Brad, I got a muskie on. My uncle was with us on the boat too. And I woke up and I screamed, Mommy. I don't know why. I was dreaming or something, but he always brings that up and teases me about it.
Just walks in the room. Mommy walks out.
I don't know. It was weird, but that's the earliest memory I have. We used to go fishing all the time, and then he sold his boat, and there was like a stretch of 10 years where we didn't really go fishing at all.
Yeah.
And then I ended up moving out on my own at like 22. Matt was my first roommate, actually.
Matt Souders?
Yeah.
Yes.
So around that time, I was like, you know what? I'm sitting here bored. All we're doing is playing Call of Duty in the apartment and hanging out with all of our buddies. It's like, I need to go do something. I ended up buying like a Shakespeare combo for $30 at Walmart.
Oh, dude.
It's like a green rod with a silver and green reel. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. They still make them, bro. They're still there.
And what's crazy is like I was a complete downgrade. I used to have like Browning rods and stuff growing up, like decent rods. Yeah.
Dude, okay, so fishing was basically all around you and stuff, but you were a pretty active kid. Like you were just like whatever's clever type thing.
Oh yeah.
Was there any direction in high school where or any like growing up before you like moved out that you're like, I really want to get into this? Like I'm guessing you didn't like have like I want to be an accountant when I get out of high school or anything like.
No, there was no rhyme or reason to what I did absolutely at all. And it was funny. I graduated high school. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life until like a month before college started.
Oh.
My dad was like, you need to get it in gear. You need to figure out what you're doing, or you're going to have to start paying rent if you're going to live in this house. So I was just like, oh, whatever. I'll just do construction.
Yeah.
And then that's what screwed me.
Yep.
Gosh, man, that was a bad decision.
Dude, you know, I'm not going to say you're wrong because my body hurts today. I'm sore. But
that's why I quit doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, dude, it's easier when you're younger, at least my opinion, like to, instead of going and sitting at a bank or sitting behind a computer all day, it would drive me nuts. But at least being out in the constant change of environment, like for me, it works well for me. So
yeah. And my dad's been self-employed doing remodeling work for like 20 years, 25 years, something like that. So I worked summers with him when I was in high school. I remember building decks with him when I was like 14 and just stuff like that during the summertime. I got pictures of all that stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Skinny old me with no shirt on, my basketball shorts and T-Mac basketball shoes on, carrying a hammer.
Dude, that's so awesome, y'all. This is proof of child labor if I ever wanted to come after you.
he paid me because yeah, it was my first car that I ever had. I actually bought from him.
Oh, okay.
With that money. So,
what kind of car?
90. What year was that? I think it was like a 91 Pontiac Bonneville Supercharged.
Oh, a car.
Yeah. It was a nice car. All leather interior, had the 12 lumbar support buttons in the middle, 5-disc CD changer in the back.
Dude. The
nice
5-disc CD changer in the back. I love that.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, that's a Sav car, though. I mean, I had like an 89 Camry, dude. Like, that was my first car. Piece of shit.
It wasn't a bad car. It's just when I got it had like a rear main leak, and I had to put some money into it, but it got me places.
Oh yeah, and it got you places quick. Those things aren't small, dude. That was that.
I remember going there. I don't remember, but I remember going down the highway going like 105.
Yep.
I was like, this is cool.
Yes. So and you mentioned that you moved out around, you said 22 or?
Yeah, it's like 21, 22, something like that.
Okay, yeah. Now, and you moved in with Matt. So where did your guys' relationship start? Did you guys start in high school or?
Jeez, I've known Matt since he was like 3, 4, 5 years old.
Oh, okay.
We met at church.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
In daycare.
It was like more
Sunday school.
It was called King's Kids Church. So it was like a group for kids between 5 and 11. I don't know. Before you got to youth group.
Yeah. So it was Sunday school, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
My son, he's in 1 grade of Sunday school. My daughter's in like daycare Sunday school type thing. So yeah, I grew up in Sunday school, so I understand. That's cool. Like that's cool. So you guys became buds, and you're like, you know what? We need to get a place together. Life is better without parents. Is that how that went, or?
Yeah, I don't remember how that even went. That was so weird. Like it was 2012. I don't even remember how, like, because there was a time where we didn't really hang out much too in between there. Mm-hmm. And then I guess we started hanging out again 2012. I don't remember.
Either way, you guys like, we're going to get a place and we're going to chug Mountain Dew and play video games and kick it with the homies. And
Mountain Dew?
Yeah, Mountain Dew. Hey, I've heard stories. I'm not gonna tell your stories, but I've heard stories of your Mountain Dew life.
No, Matt's mom bought us like so many 2 liters of Mountain Dew. I have pictures of like our cabinet with open doors, and there's probably like 15 bottles of 2 liters of Mountain Dew in there.
Shout out to Barb.
I know, she hooked us up all the time. She bought us groceries and she gave me gas cards. She's like, "Thanks for being Matt's friend."
Yeah,
I'm like, I appreciate it. You don't have to do that, but
yeah, I'm gonna be his friend whether you give me gas cards or not.
Yeah.
So you found you went and you bought a Walmart rod. You're like, I'm gonna go fishing, and just took off from there. Yeah. So what were you doing at that time? Were you still in construction at that point, or were you going to college?
I graduated college in 2010. I actually had my first construction job while I was in college.
Okay.
I started like 2 months before I graduated.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with that guy up until December 2013 or 2023. My bad. So
yeah, you were there for a while.
13 years with him.
No raise. I'm just kidding.
No. When I first started with him, I was like, I don't remember what minimum wage was back then. It was low though.
Yeah.
And then slowly as the years went by, like I started getting better and better and doing my own jobs and everything. And before I knew it, I was like, hey, I'm making a living doing this. It's cool.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, you made enough to support yourself to where you're at now, you know?
Yeah.
It's still 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So working construction, fishing a little bit here and there. You and Matt live together. You are very big in the kayak fishing scene in your area. How did the kayak get involved? Like, how did you get into a kayak that way?
The kayak started a couple years after I started fishing. So it was like 2014 is when I first got my first kayak. I saw these 2 guys on the river with Jackson Cousas. I was like, what the heck is that? It's like, that's cool. Wonder what that is. Ended up looking at prices and stuff. I'm like, yep, never getting one of these. That's too expensive. But I ended up getting like a Trailblazer 100 Pelican kayak. I think it was like $200.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I was in that for a little bit. Ended up hating it. I sold it, and then I got a Perception Access 11.5 sit on top. Hated that one. Sold it, and then 2017 I got my first like high end, I guess you should say, fishing kayak, and it was an Old Town Predator MX, built for the river.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
I love that kayak. That kayak was awesome.
Can you still find them out and about, or?
I don't know. I haven't looked in a while. They don't make the Predator anymore, I don't think.
That don't mean any. I'll talk to the boys over at Kayak City, because we got a lot of old models that are just chilling. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
if I get a hold of one, I'll let you know, because I seen they have a bunch of like very older style kayaks that are just haven't been used. They just never sold, and so they're just sitting out in a back area. So I'll take a look over there, because I've definitely seen some Old Towns, and I'm like, what is that? And they're like, oh yeah, they don't make that anymore. I'm like, okay. And
the Predator. If anybody's out there in your local area, if they're looking for like a river kayak, the Predator is a really good river kayak.
Okay. Hell
Yeah, it's awesome. It like I would say it rivals the Shoaly and the Kusa.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And you don't like? Oh, never mind. Oh, I'll get into that later. So, I was gonna say you don't like the RVR, dude. I love that thing. But
I've never actually been. Well, I've been in it once for like two minutes, maybe, if that.
Oh no. You gotta get in that thing.
Yeah. So I don't really have an opinion of it yet.
Yeah. So okay. You're getting it. You got this. You kind of did your little kayak shuffle, all this kind of stuff. And are you doing this all by yourself? Is this just like total self motivation? Like, you know what? I just want to be out on the water. I don't want to be looking at video games today. Or how does that work?
Pretty much. I think shortly after I got my kayak, I talked to my buddy Justin into getting his first kayak too, and that way we could float the river because there was like stretches I wanted to try. When I first started fishing the river, I just kept going back to the same spot, and getting skunked. I was like, man, this is stupid. Why do I keep coming back here? Yeah,
they're 10 feet that way.
They probably were. And it's funny because I've gone back to that spot since, and I've caught fish in that area, but not in the area where I was catching them off the bank.
Yeah. So they're I mean, isn't that kind of like a motive for most people to get kayaks? Is like, I know there's fish, I just need to get to them. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like that. I would not go out and buy a giant boat to go get the fish that I know that are there, that are just right over there, but I can't cast to them or whatever, That's when I was like, that's when I started thinking about kayaks. Is like, I just want to get out to get to these dang fish, and the only way I can do it is float. So
yeah, that was the main reason I got into a kayak, because I wanted to float the river. I wanted to see more of the river.
Yeah. Well, he'll do it.
Yep, I've fished over 90 miles of my river here. I've fished over 50 miles of the Little Miami River. It's not my favorite river, but I've done 50 miles of that river.
Oh wow, dude, that's a lot. That's a lot of land, bro. That's a lot of running.
Yeah. I know the Great Miami like the back of my hand now.
So when you see people post spots, even if they're not trying to spot burn, you're like, I know where that is.
Oh, yeah. Like Matt, he sent me a picture one day. I was like, oh, yeah, I know where you're at. He's like, how do you know that? I'm just like, I can tell by the trees.
Yeah, I know that tree.
Ryan Dahl's the same way. It's just you fish the river so much, you know where spots are.
Yeah, I got a couple bodies of water out by me that are like that. So if I ever see, or my buddy's out there and he takes a photo, like, or takes, video, like, oh, I'm like, I know the weed pile that is sitting 2 feet underwater in front of you. I know exactly where you're at. Like, yeah, I love that.
That's crazy. Crazy how that works.
Yeah, man. So, okay. So you're out and about, you're young adult, you're doing your thing, kayak fishing, all that kind of stuff. Are you still hanging out with the family and all that kind of stuff? Or are you kind of like, I'm establishing myself right now, I'm doing my own thing?
Yeah, I went and hung out with the family for a while. Or, I mean, I don't see them probably as much as everybody else does. Like, we're all like, we get together for holidays. Mm-hmm. That's about it. And then every other time we're just like doing our own thing. Yeah. And everybody, my grandma thinks that like I'm over there all the time. She's like, oh, I never see you. I was like, well, my dad don't ever see me either. I see him, maybe a few times a year. That's it. And they only live 30 minutes away. I know that I should change that, but
you're having a kid. You're gonna change that. Trust me. It's you're not really gonna have a choice. You're gonna be like, you know what? You need a grandma day. Bye.
Yeah, I was gonna say, my mom, she's like, I'll be over every Sunday. You can go fishing. I'll watch the baby. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, okay, take that, and be like, you know what? I'll do you one better. You can stay the night and take her Monday too. Like,
yeah. No, I think we're set up pretty good for that though. I don't think my fishing will slow down a little bit, but I still think I'll be able to go at least like once a week.
Yeah.
Not 2 or 3 times like I'm doing now.
Nope. And I'm going to tell you, Brad, from experience, the first year, you're going to get out like once every couple weeks. Like, because if you get some free time and you're like, I could go fishing, or I could actually do some sleeping, I'll do that.
Or I could sit home and play video games.
Yeah, just rest.
That's my that's another. That's good to have that hobby though, because that's easier to do when the baby's around.
Oh, dude, yeah. I can't tell you how if I could sit and play video games, I would totally do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you can just put the baby in your lap, give her the bottle, or just let her sleep, and you can just sit there and run the game and just chill. Like,
yeah, that's what my brother-in-law does.
Yeah,
my sister's husband.
Yeah, dude, it's so chill until they're like 2, and then they grab your controller and you find it in the trash can or something. You know?
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Dang.
Just that's the baby proofing nobody tells you about. If you like something, you have to create like a 5-foot shelf somewhere where they can't in. That's where you put all your stuff. You know, like I put a lock on my garage door. How's that sound?
Even then, that doesn't work because there's a funny story. When I was younger, I was supposed to get my tonsils out when I was 5 years old.
Oh.
Well, I wasn't supposed to eat anything the night before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I woke up the morning I was supposed to get my tonsils out, and somehow I got up all the way on this shelf that's probably up against the ceiling like a foot down.
Yes.
They had snack cakes up there. My dad wakes up, it's like 6 a.m., and I'm eating a snack cake. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What?" I'm 5 years old. I don't know what's going on, you know?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know I was getting my tonsils out.
You're like, "You hid my snack cakes. I found them."
Yeah. Seriously, it was just, I think it was a fudge round or an oatmeal pie.
Either way, it's that stuff's, as a kid, like that. My son did it. My daughter's doing it. You learn how to like maneuver a drawer and move a chair, and like you create this little ladder, and the next thing you know, like she's up in the upper cabinets playing in the dishes, and I'm like, I don't even know how you got up there.
That's crazy, man.
You can't. There's no physical way where she could get down besides fall. So I'm like, I'm gonna take you.
That makes me nervous. Like every time I see a baby like standing on something, makes me nervous. I'm like, I saw a kid at church doing that. They were leaning on the pew, the top of the pew. Looked like they were about to like flip over, and I'm sitting there going,
"Yep."
wasn't even a kid I knew. I was just like, I don't want to watch a baby smack its head open.
Yeah, dude, and it's crazy. They're made of rubber, and not having kneecaps is like a joke, but literally they're like damn near made of rubber. Like I've seen my daughter and my son both take like diggers, like real hard, like far falls. Like my son, oh my god, he's got like splits, like he's got scars where he just split his face open on the ground. Like all this stuff. Or my daughter, she took a digger. I got a 4-stair, like a concrete 4-step in the backyard coming out my back door. I just watched her go head over heels, just do 4 concrete stairs, landed on a concrete slab. Cried. Nothing wrong with her, but like,
that's crazy.
If that was me or anybody else, we'd have a fractured skull and broken arm. But they bend and they're flexy and they're just mushy, and it's like a protective gel coat on a child. So
Still
don't worry.
Makes me nervous.
Oh, dude, no, yeah. My wife calls me like a hovering or a helicopter parent because I'm always like, no, because I'll find her. She's just literally walking like it was the sidewalk across the countertop and across like, you know, that front edge right in front of the sink. She's like walking across it, not even like a tightrope, just do. I'm like, dude, if you go one way or the other, this is all bad. There's knives in the sink, or she falls to the tile floor. I'm like, my wife's like, she's fine. Like, no.
Yeah, right. Nope.
Yeah, nope. Yeah.
That's funny. You mentioned the scar. Yeah. I got one right there in my eyebrow. I think it was during the OJ trial. This is a weird memory. I don't know why I remember that.
That's rad.
I got on top of the picnic table outside. I had 2 metal bars in my hands, and I jump off acting like I'm a skier. One of the metal bars hits the ground, bounces up, smacks me in the head, takes out a chunk of my head. I ended up getting 5 stitches here. But before that happened, my aunt was watching us, so I had to sit there and wait for my dad to get home, and we were watching the O.J. Simpson trial on TV. So that's like a core memory.
Yeah, dude.
That's so weird.
How old were you again?
When was the trial? Like 94?
I was in junior high.
I don't remember.
During the OJ trial. So.
Yeah, I was probably like 6, 7.
Oh God, I'm so old. Yeah. All right. So yeah. You were a bit younger than me. So, okay. So I know we jumped off on the kids stuff a lot, but let's get back into this real quick. I just want to know, like, when you were growing up, was there ever like a time in your life where you just you felt drawn to something specific, or was it you were, because you seem to be pretty active in all areas. Was there ever like a passion or a drive for you that really drew you into something?
Nope. And that's funny you bring up like the drive factor, because my dad always told me growing up, he was like, you just don't have any drive to do anything. I'm just like, and I'm kind of like that right now. I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how I am.
Yeah. No, I always found it interesting because like when you and me started talking, we became friends. Like you're very much, this is what you get type guy. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not a whole lot of, you're not like, well, I always thought when you would say, I'll put it this way. I always thought when you were saying something, there was either like something behind it or you just hadn't really opened up to me yet. And you were just like, let's do wiener fart jokes and that's cool. And, but like literally, like you were like the best dude. You were just upfront, straightforward. This is what it is. Blunt. Like you get what you get, you know, like there's no, yeah, you're very just with like salt of the earth. You're just, this is it.
Straight shot.
There it is. Straight shooter. That's the term I was looking for. I love it.
Yeah, I'm the type of guy that don't like to beat around the bush. And like, so when I'm talking to somebody and they're like telling this whole story or something, and they're taking the long way around to do it, I'm just like, all right, I'm done with this conversation.
Yeah.
No, like, I don't know. I hate small talk, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But I'm not like that. I'm just like, tell you the story, boom, I'm done.
Yep. Dude, I love it. And so I remember like when we were starting to get to know each other, I think not the year I met you in Columbus, because that was really weird because I was like, I recognize your voice. But anyway, but the second year you were like, you'd tell me a story and then that was it. And the story ended. And I was like I was like, is there something more? And you're like, yeah. I was like, okay. I loved it, dude. I was like,
I'm not very smart in the head.
No, you're hella smart. But that's the thing is like, you don't mix words. You're not like a
wordsmith.
No, no, wordsmith is something totally different.
You should listen to the poems I create.
Oh, are they anything like what you sent me on Snapchat?
I'm just joking.
Okay, I was gonna say, everybody, be advised. There will be a Bradley Hicks poetry reading on the Whole Angler Facebook page coming soon.
I don't even know how to do poetry.
No, me neither, dude. So okay. Anyway, so you've never really been like much of a you're totally a go-getter. Like all I ever know of you is like you just get stuff done. You're like a doer. You're that kind of guy. Yeah, which I totally respect and love about you. So how did that come about without having any drive? You're just like, I see a problem and I fix it, or was that something that you just saw early on as a kid? Or
I don't know if it's like OCD or what. I don't know, but like I can't procrastinate. I got to get the stuff done before I can relax. If I don't do it, then I think about it and then it bugs me. It's like the best thing I can tell people when they ask me something like that is if I'm shoveling the driveway outside and I can't get it completely clean of snow, it drives me nuts and it bugs me.
It's not OCD, that's efficiency. Like
I don't know. I can't. That's the only way I can explain it.
No, I love that. Like it's perfectionism. Like you need to get it done and it needs to be done right the way you see it. Yeah.
But then there's like other things, like if I can't get it done right, it bugs me, but then I give up on it.
You're not going to lose sleep over it.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, okay. So it almost sounds like an all or nothing mentality, really, when it comes down to it. Like if we break it down, it either has to be exactly perfect or it doesn't matter.
I guess. Even though if it doesn't matter, it probably bugs me still.
Yeah.
I don't know. My brain's weird.
No, it's all good, dude. I gave him the best shot. I'm done. All right, later. Yeah. Okay, so you're in your 20s. You're kayak fishing occasionally, and you just decide. How did you get in? Because we're going to talk about this somewhat at length. Like you got into like the Nice helmet. You got into like the you got into the podcast scene like earlier on, I want to say, like before everything was really like podcasts were, you know, like me, like every mom and pop have a podcast now. You were in it pretty early. So what did that explain the getting into kayak fishing to podcast timeline? Like, what did that look like starting a podcast timeline?
I was kayak fishing, and then let's see, 2019 came around, and I got into tournament fishing here locally. I think that was the only year I did tournaments. Maybe I did it one other year during 2020. I can't remember, but tournament fishing, I met my friend Zach Carell. He ran the Yak Legion podcast with me. But that's later on. I met this other guy. His name was John Graves. He did like a local podcast. It wasn't like a highly produced podcast or anything. He just did it, you know, to get his thoughts out of his head, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was like a 20-minute show sometimes. And he would be in his garage working, and he'd record it on his phone. You know?
Oh, wow.
And you could hear him like working with his horses, and you could hear his horses in the background and doing all that kind of stuff. But I thought that was cool. So I was like, hey, Zach, we should start a podcast, a kayak fishing podcast. He's like, oh, yeah, that sounds cool. So we ended up starting our first show in like April 2019 or something. And it was called the Yak Legion podcast.
Hell yeah. And
that didn't end very long because, well, I forgot. I got into the tournament stuff, and then the first tournament I completely bombed on a lake that I grew up fishing every now and then. It was like 50-something degrees. The water was super muddy. The water temperature was like 52 degrees, so it was tough fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Bombed that tournament. The very next tournament, a month later, exact same lake. It was supposed to be on the river, but they switched it because the river was flooded. The exact same lake as the first tournament. Ended up winning that tournament.
That's what I was going to say. I remember hearing a story about you winning a tournament, and you were paddling.
Yeah,
other dudes paddling. Had motors, and you were paddling.
Yeah, there was one guy, maybe two guys had motors, but everybody else was in Hobies.
Oh, so they had the little kicky.
Yeah, it was before the motor craze.
Okay, yeah.
But I won that tournament, and that kind of kickstarted off like this whole thing because I won the tournament. And it was ran by Loveland Canoe and Kayak. And that's how I got my affiliation with Loveland Canoe and Kayak. They're like, hey, we like what you're doing on Instagram and stuff, and you're a good fisherman. We want you to be on our team repping Bonafide. Are you in? I'm like, yeah, I'll try out the Bonafide, see if I like it. So I went down there. A couple weeks later, they put me in a Bonafide. I ended up liking it. I had an SS127 for quite a while, actually.
Yeah.
Loved it. And that's where like the whole podcast thing took off. Yak Legion didn't last very long. I ended up leaving after 5 episodes. The team manager for Loveland Canoe and Kayak joined Paddle and Fin. He was like, I want you to start a show over on Paddle and Fin. He wants to expand their network. I'm like, holy crap, I've been listening to them. That would be awesome. That's a good opportunity. So I went off and did a show with Paddle and Fin for 4 years.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It was a while.
Yeah. So when I before I met you guys, like I'd been listening for a minute because I'm newer. We both know I'm fucking baby legs, brand new type guy to fishing for the most part. But one of your podcasts was one of the podcasts that I listened to specifically because it was like a gear review, and I'm really into like I'm a weird gear guy. Like I'm into my tools as much as I'm into the work that I do type thing. And so go ahead.
Did you find our show from Dark Horse?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Because initially I'd found Dark Horse from Tackle Talk, you know what I'm saying? And so, and then I started hearing more affiliates and, oh, check this out or check that out. And so I started weaving around. So I started backlogging, like, you know what I'm saying? I would go, and I would have to find, because it was a network. So there's like a bunch of shows a week. So I'd have to go and find your show specifically over and over and over and over again. And I would backlog like hella shows on that. And so by the time I, you know, came to Columbus, I'd recognized your voice pretty easily. But like, what was that like for you? Like jumping into a network that you were like, yeah, I know who you are and you want me. That's gotta like kind of pat you on the shoulder.
I was freaking pumped. Like I knew that was going to open up a lot of doors for me. But it was complete shock. I was like, wow, I can't. I feel bad for Zach looking back because I should have brought him along with me, but
yeah, but they didn't ask Zach; they asked you.
Yeah, I know. It was a sucky situation at the time, and we had some drama over it and all that stuff. So, yeah,
putting ketchup on each other's toilet seats or what? Oh, that worked out.
No, it was just dumb drama.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. So you're into paddle and fin, and you're doing the show. Were you doing it by yourself, or did you have a co-host to start with, or how did that work?
Well, the funny thing was, you know, the guy that I was talking about at the beginning, he did his local podcast in his garage. I actually co-hosted with him on the show called The Reel Down, and it was a tournament driven podcast on paddle and fin. So before I did the final cast, I was doing The Reel Down.
Okay, yeah.
With John Graves. After a while, I was like, I'm not doing tournaments anymore. It don't make sense for me to do this. So I ended up switching over to the final cast, and I did that with another local guy. His name was Josh Eldridge. Did that for a while. He ended up leaving after a while, and then I brought in Matt.
Yeah.
And that's how Matt got into it. And Matt was really apprehensive about doing it at first. He's like, I don't know about this, dude. I was just like, oh, trust me. He's like, you'll be fine. I'll show you everything you need to do. And he ended up enjoying it. So we did that until we started our own.
Well, okay. Before we get there, because we're getting there, but what you were into tournaments and you just weren't? Was you were just over it? Was there a burnout in that, or was it just not as much of a draw anymore for you?
I wasn't burnt out on it. It's just like the Cincinnati Kayak Fishing Trail. They like to go. They're in a weird spot, so they're in a tri-state area. So they would go to Indiana. They'd go to Kentucky. They'd go to Ohio. So I would have to buy 3 different states fishing license.
Yeah.
And then I would have to drive 2 hours away. On top of that, I'm not an early riser. So I was waking up at like 3:30 to go to these tournaments. I hated doing that.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah.
On top of that, like I was forced to fish for largemouth. I hated that. I didn't want to be out there fishing for largemouth. I'd rather be on the river.
Yeah.
So there was like a bunch of reasons. Like there's a lot of local guys around here. They don't like me. So it's been that way since paddle and fin. I don't know why, but whatever. I don't really care.
No, you don't like our fish, so we don't like you.
No, I don't know, dude.
Yeah. So jumping back, you brought on. How did that whole bring Matt on? The guy Josh was like done over it, or?
Yeah, he ended up getting a divorce and stuff like that. So he kind of just fell out of fishing, kayak fishing, and everything. And he had little kids too, so they were like 2 and 4, I think, at the time.
Oh yeah, yep.
So it's probably hard for him, but
dude, yeah, single parent, yeah.
And then got Matt on board. I had him on an episode before that because we were talking about this other bait company me and him were affiliated with that was local called 153 Baits. So he's like, yeah, that podcast was fun. I was like, well, if you had fun then, you want to help co-host with me? Yeah, let's do it. All right.
That's awesome. And so your relation now, were you guys tight the whole time, or was this like a rekindling of your guys' relationship, in your opinion?
Rekindling. Like he went off to the Marines in 2013, something like that. Yeah. Came back. He got married. I was actually in his wedding. And then a couple years went by. Like we still talked and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I noticed he had a kayak. I was just like, let's go fishing. All right. So he had an Old Town at the time. And then, yeah, I think that's how it just became again.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. And so you guys did the final cast for how many years together?
I want to say it was like 2021 to 2023.
So, and you started your podcast in career in like 2019. So you're 4 years into this, right? And he's what? 2 years into this, right? 2021, 2023. What happened? Like, what was the big deal? Because I mean, you were a part of like a whole network, and you guys just decided this is dumb, or I don't want to do this anymore. Was the network disbanding, or how did that work?
They weren't disbanding. I don't know what they're doing now. Like they don't upload podcasts at all anymore. I think they're just doing shows on Facebook.
Okay.
Right now. But me and Matt got tired of the final cast. Like it was the same show every week. How'd you start your company? What kind of baits do you have? Did COVID affect you? And it got old.
Yeah.
So then they weren't really looking for any other shows. So I was like, Matt, let's just start our own like river-based podcast. And he was like, dude, that's a good idea. And it was kind of hard to leave Paddle and Fin because I love Brian, dude. Brian Schiller, he's the man. He's cool. Yeah. And then all piece by piece, like some of the other Paddle and Fin hosts, they started leaving. And Jimmy Skinner, he was a cool dude, man.
Yeah.
He ended up leaving. Susie ended up leaving. Sean left, but I think he's back with them. Ryan Milford, he left. He's doing his own thing. It's actually cool seeing him post fishing stuff again because he left fishing for a couple years, it seemed like. But he's actually getting back into it, seems like, this year.
It sounds like a lot of burnout, to be honest. It sounds like everybody's just kind of getting torched. Like you guys were torched on the same idea. Everybody else was kind of – I felt like when I listened – because I listened to a couple other shows on Paddle and Fin just to check them out, like way back there was like some old earlier Armando episodes and like all sorts of, like I've listened to a bunch of, and there was one with a lady and I can't remember if it's a lady and a guy or a lady and shoot house. It's fast fishing for noobs.
Yeah, that was Susie and Sean.
Okay, yeah. So
but I mean, it used to be Susie and Ryan.
So I felt like everybody kind of got pigeonholed into their individual topics, if that makes sense. Is that kind of how it went, and everybody just gets burned out after a while?
Yeah,
like you said, you can only ask somebody how they started their company so many times.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened for us. Yeah.
So you decided to disband, and then what happened? So what did you guys do? Because not that people listening to my show don't know who you are, don't know what you turned into, but in case there's a new person that decides to backlog episodes and listen to this, what did you end up doing?
I started the Catch podcast, and Dark Horse guys, they followed us over. They actually helped pick the name out for it. So me and Matt didn't know what to pick, but Zach was like, why not the Catch? You guys are going to talk sports. They catch balls. You catch fish. I'm like, sure, why not? Let's do it.
That's awesome. And I remember you guys started, you had like, we talk sports and we talk fishing, you know, and you guys kept true to that almost to the very end. I mean, mind you, there's a couple episodes where it was like, there's not really much going on in the seasons right now. So it's trade talk. And then that was really it, you know?
Yeah.
But I really wish you guys talk more about basketball.
I feel like that kind of hurt like the growth of the podcast. There was people that didn't really like the sports aspect, but
so it's not their show.
I know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Dude, people don't like my show. I guarantee it. They're like, this guy's retarded. You know?
I like it because it gets – dude, nobody else does this thing. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite episodes that you did was with Josh Frinko and like listening to him like talk about like his life and stuff. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool.
That was the point. Appreciate you. But so you guys started the Catch in 2023. Like you guys came out swinging. Like
June 2023. Is that what it was? Something like that. Yeah.
You guys controlled, at least from my opinion, you guys controlled Mondays. Like you guys were the only show that came out on Monday.
Yeah.
That was it. You guys controlled the week. Like
that's why we picked it.
Yeah. I love that. It was so good.
Yeah. So I know Jigs and Bigs was Tuesday. So was Tackle Talk. And then I don't remember who else.
Well, I know Advanced Kayak Angler would come out on Wednesdays, and Bass Kayak and Beers would be live Thursdays, but there was nobody that really did Thursday. I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I kind of have my days and episodes picked out and all that kind of stuff. But so you guys, you're like, we're doing Mondays, we're going to record on Tuesdays, we're dropping on Mondays, and we're going to run the week, and like that's how it goes? Or was it just like, nobody's coming out on Monday, so we're just going to pick Monday?
They basically went hand in hand. That's why we picked Mondays. Nobody else was doing it, so we're like, let's do it. We'll get everybody to listen to our show first.
Yeah, dude.
Which it didn't end up being that way. Like if you looked at our analytics, like people started listening more towards the end of the week.
Yeah. Well, I feel like people listen to bass fishing podcasts when they're getting ready to go fishing or like
traveling.
I travel a lot for work, or I always have, so like it's always playing in the car. But like I could understand why it'd be like, oh, this would be a good way to psych myself up while I'm rigging up for the weekend or something.
Yeah,
listen to some good fishing.
No, I do the same thing. I even set up my phone when I'm fishing sometimes and listen to podcasts.
That's how I fish, dude. Unless I'm with my homie, like unless I'm with Andy, like I have one little headphone in and I'm just listening to fishing podcasts. Like that's why I will never put out a full length me fishing video, because I won't talk for like an hour. I'm just listening. Like
I was the same way. Like, I Creek Crawler. You know who Creek Crawler is.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Brian.
He gave me some advice. He's like, dude, you need to start talking in your videos, because I would just be like catching fish and like, I wouldn't even say anything. He's like, you need to start talking, engaging with your audience, man.
I should just put it on speakerphone. They could hear the
And I replied back to him. I was like, well, you know who Indy Acker is, right? He said, yeah. I was like, well, I kind of like what he's doing. He doesn't really talk much. I was like, I'm not a big talker anyway. I don't really like talking to people. He's like, well, it would help if you engage with the audience. So I started doing that a little bit towards the end.
Yeah. Now, are you okay? It's funny to me, and I love talking with you and Matt, like on the group text, because both of you are like, I hate people. I hate talking to people. But yet you guys have a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Matt hates it more than I do. Matt is not. He's not a social guy at all.
But you guys had a podcast, like, which is based around solely talking to people, which
I know.
I love it.
That was one thing I hated about doing the podcast, though. Like, talking to somebody I didn't know, I just felt awkward. If it was the very first time, like we got them on a show, I just felt weird. Like I would always keep them in the back room. I wouldn't turn my camera on until Matt came in, because I felt awkward if it was just me and that person and we were just sitting there going, so how about them Marlins? Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like that's a great. Okay, so we don't need to necessarily dive into that, but that's a perfect thing. Like it's awkward getting to like know someone on recording.
It is super awkward.
I feel like it's more genuine though, because the questions can come more genuinely. You know what I'm saying?
And we never did a script either. So
yes, yeah, exactly. I have a small script, but it's not very big, and I only do that because I'll forget everything, because I get drawn in, like how you and me are talking, and I'll forget that I have.
No, I can't tell you how many times like I've been like on the podcast and I'm just like, oh, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I know.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, but it's so awkward. So how do you just kind of run it and gun it, and you just kind of get used to talking to people over time? Like, okay, here we go. Like, or like, how does that work? Like, how did you break out of like, this is awkward? Like I don't want to.
It was still awkward towards the end. Like I felt really awkward when we had like the Bassmaster guys on our show, because I'm not real big into the Bassmaster, so I didn't know what I wanted to ask these guys. Matt did, because Matt follows that stuff a little bit more than I do. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt even towards the end, I just felt awkward with it.
You're talking like Matty Wong and Taku Ito and all those guys?
More Matt Steffen and Jeff Gustafson. I just didn't know what to say. Like Matty Wong, like he was easy to talk to.
Oh,
Taku, easy to talk to.
Yeah.
those other guys are just like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound stupid if I say something.
Yeah. But I mean, you guys did a great job talking to Matt Steffen about, like, you guys were talking about core tackle. And I remember that episode specifically because I was like, dude, they're digging right now. Like, this is awesome. I felt like you guys were grooving. That's crazy to hear that you felt super awkward about it because I felt like y'all were grooving real good.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. That's awesome.
If it's something like after a while, I probably get more into it. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
kinda weird.
Dude, it's the same thing in person. Like walking up and shaking somebody's hand. It's like, hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I don't know where to go from here. Like, like,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same way.
Good seeing you.
And I've kind of, after I made my post the other day about the podcast, I said I have grown as a person since over the past 6 years. And that's kind of what I was hinting towards. When I first started doing the podcast, I was not like a social talkative guy. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't know how to engage with people like I do now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm a lot better at it than I used to be.
Well, I don't know how you used to be. I've only known you for a couple of years, and I've always thought you've been pretty phenomenal at like engaging, Yeah. And like I said, it's straight shooting. It's not like small talk. We're not sitting there, just shooting the shit about the Marlins.
Yeah. That reminds me, I posted it on Facebook one time. I was like, I hate small talk. And then like this lady at church, she was like, I won't ask you about the weather anymore. I was like in my head, I was like, yes, don't ask me that anymore. But then I was just like, oh no, you're fine. Like an idiot.
So I love that though. It's like the kindest way to just shoot someone down. Like, let's not. Okay. But okay. So here, The Catch was a phenomenal show. Like I loved it. I know tons of other people have loved it. Like
that just blows my mind though.
Bro, do you know how many people reached out to me? Because we're about to talk about this. What kind of gave you the idea? Like, well, first off, you've gotten married at some point along this line. So let's talk about this real quick before we get
a long time ago.
The end of before we end the Catch podcast. You got married a long time ago, right?
2014.
So the entire time you've been doing this, you've had a wife in the background just kind of chilling. Has she ever given you a hard time about being like on a podcast or anything like that, or she just kind of let you do your thing?
No, she's usually in bed by the time we record. So
got it.
Yeah, she shuts the door, goes to sleep, and I'm in what's now the baby room.
Hey.
Used to be the podcast room. That used to be the wall where all my stuff was hanging.
Oh, that's where the Douglas poster was.
Yep. I'm faced the other way because I don't want you to see me with a pink background because that's gay. I'm just joking.
No, it's all good. It's all good. In fact, you and Matt gave me the okay because I felt really bad about saying gay and retarded. I'm a child. I was born in the 80s, so I grew up in the 90s, and that was just
dude.
That's what you say. And you guys, relax, dude. It's cool. No one's gonna hate you for it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Somebody might, but who cares about them?
People that are easily offended these days aren't really my type of friends anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
It works out good. But anyway, so you got married. You and your wife, you've been, you guys bought a house.
Boning every other night.
Well, this is a deep conversation. I didn't think we needed to go balls deep, but whatever.
That's me. That's what I do.
I love it. By the way, if you guys are, I know you guys are totally unaware of this, but we have a private chat, and he just put penis on the page, and that just threw me off like super hard, because that is our relationship. It is awesome. So, anyways, so back to the end of the Catch. Like you and your wife, things have changed around the house, and like you said, you're no longer in a podcast studio. You're now in a nursery.
Yep.
So let's talk about that.
Completely done nursery.
Yeah, dude.
I ended up skimming the walls with drywall mud and fixing up all the imperfections because it bugged the absolute crap out of me.
Yeah.
And I just made more work for myself. I could have been done with this nursery like a month ago, but like going back to like what we were talking about, I have to have everything look good.
Yeah.
So I skimmed it with mud, painted 3 walls white, 1 wall pink, installed a fan because there was no fan or a light in this bedroom. So I ran some new wires. The switch went to the outlet. So I took the outlet off the switch, ran the new fan light. And yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. You're setting it up. You got a bundle of joy on the way.
And I
that's kind of what I meant. I didn't really care about the room that much.
Oh yeah. And that's what I told my wife. I said, princess only gets the best. And she thought that was funny.
Dude, you wait. I have a daughter and I've had a son. I've had a son for a long time. He's 10. And so my mentality is kids are kids. Like, they're your kids. You love them and all this kind of stuff. My daughter is different. Mm-hmm. There's something different with a daughter, dude. Like when you say princess gets what she wants, bro, I had my 2-year-old daughter. I was getting my oil changed because I'm lazy down the way. And right next to it was a nail salon. And I was like, oh, this will be fun. And I took her in there. I got her mani, pedi, her nails done with the gel coats. And you want to do the gel coats. I'm going to tell you right now, as a dad, you want to do the gel coats because then the nail polish doesn't wear off around the house that fast.
Well, if she's anything like my wife gets her nails done, she starts picking it off immediately. I'm like, why do you do that? Dude. She's like, I don't know. It's just something in my brain. Okay.
Yeah. So no, trust me, it'll wear off real fast. Kids are not nice to their nails for sure.
Yeah. Digging in the dirt and stuff.
Yeah. Dude, that's literally what it is. Like she'll go out. I'll get her mani pedi, dude. It's $12 because she's so tiny and they love her there. And then I take her home, and then she's digging in the rock pile in the backyard. And I'm like, I think you're going to go through brand new nails or whatever.
I can see her sitting in the chair, just like doing this.
Bro, she knows the get down, bro. She's 2, and she knows. They go, okay, and she just puts her hands out, and they just do her nails, and she just sits there, and then they put her feet over the little bucket, and she just rests her head back and looks at me, and like,
that's awesome,
dude. I'm like, oh, geez. I'm in trouble, and I'm instigating it. I could totally never introduce her to that life, and she would never know any different. But trust me, princess wants what princess gets, and she only gets the best. Yeah. So
that's funny. I said that.
Yeah. So you guys are now expecting a baby girl. When's our due date? What are we looking at here?
September 21st.
September. Okay.
One day after our anniversary.
Ooh. Hey, dude, knock it all out at once. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Too bad you don't have a birthday. Yeah.
I would say her name, but my wife doesn't want me to.
No. That's for y'all. There's certain things you just keep to yourself until it's time.
She don't want to share. She don't even want me to post pictures and stuff. She's like, I don't trust people. There's child predators out there. I'm like, okay, whatever.
It's
digital footprint.
Yes, I felt the same way when I had my son, and then I felt similar when I had my daughter. But once they're there, like, bro, your phone is gonna look so different. You have hundreds of pictures of smallmouth. You're gonna have thousands of pictures of the baby just laying there doing nothing.
Actually, I don't. I only have 3.
Oh yeah, well, you clear your phone all the time, but you're gonna have so many photos in no time. It's gonna be ridiculous. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, every little thing they do is gonna be super awesome. You're just like, oh, check out the video. So that's awesome, dude. I mean, you don't necessarily have to share it with the world, but like, chances are, as a proud parent, you will eventually do something along those lines. Yeah, and she probably will too. So okay, so. Baby's on the way. Life's about to change. It's going to take a whole new shift. Like, this is a whole new dynamic in the household. But, the catch is still there. So what's going on now where the catch is starting to like decrease? What brought that on? Was it burnout? Was it frustration or?
Definitely burnout. Me and Matt's been burnout. Matt, it kind of spurred from Matt because like he's been having a rough year.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to fish much. And it'd come to the point where we would get to recording day and neither of us even found a guess. We're scrambling on what to do. It would just creep up on me too. Like I would be fishing all weekend and then boom, time to record. Oh, I completely forgot to get an episode ready.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not going to say I'll never do it again because I'm having fun right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just depends. I'm sure me and Matt will get back to it. I just don't know when.
Dude, yeah. No, and that's the thing is like I never took your post or anything like that. I mean, we had talked previously. People listening to this podcast, I have gone through the most stressful emotional roller coaster for the last year and a half with Brad and Matt consistently threatening, I'm quitting. I'm quitting the podcast.
Half of that time, that was fake.
I know, but it was so stressful because I'm like, is he joking this time or is he real this time? Like, I don't know what to do. so yes.
Oh,
and Matt would always be like, oh, he's joking. And then Matt was starting to be like, yo, I'm done. And I was like, oh, this is not funny anymore at all.
Yeah.
So it was just, you guys were burnt out. You were done. Matt's had a rough year. And I mean, you got a baby on the way. Like, yeah.
I figured after we get our routine down and stuff, see what life looks like after that, maybe come back, maybe rebrand and call it something different other than the catch. I don't know.
The snag.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't know.
I seriously hope that you do. Like,
and it might be like a bi-weekly thing.
That's realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's more realistic as a family man. Like,
yeah, like have your show. Excuse me, have your show on the off week and then ours on the other week.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm always up for it, and I'm not. For people who are curious, like, the catch episodes have gone nowhere. Sure,
yeah, they're still there.
Yeah, the if you go on your wherever you listen to podcasts regularly, you'll see how it says the Whole Angler. The catch podcasts are still there. Those are not all Whole Angler episodes, and I'm not gonna delete those anytime. Like, I'm just not. They need to stay there forever. Well, dude, I'm up till like. Well, it is a lot of work because I can't figure out how to set up a link tree, so it would be a difficult thing for me. But I'm not going to delete them. Like, it's not going anywhere. Like, it's got to stay there, So, did you delete the YouTubes and all that stuff too, or are you just kind of?
I did. Yeah, I deleted the YouTube and the Facebook page, but I'm not going to do YouTube anymore. That's just a lot of work, man.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I don't know. I don't enjoy editing video.
Yes.
And I really don't care. Like, I don't see the worth in YouTube. It's a lot of work for nothing.
I feel like even though you don't never necessarily have to post new stuff, but if you just leave the old stuff out there, like I just didn't understand why you didn't leave it. You don't have to touch it, but you didn't just leave it,
Yeah,
I don't know. If one thing someday ever like caught an algorithm, or some people are like, oh, let's go look at old Brad Hicks footage or something like, you know what I'm saying? And they start looking, the next thing you know, you got thousands and thousands of views. Like, there's money on the table to be had for you listening to metal and catching trash fish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I can reverse that or not, but
it's worth a shot.
It's whatever. There's a lot of local guys around here. They didn't like that I was recording spots on the river either. So
yeah, I mean, everybody does it differently. And from what I understand about the Great Miami is, like you said, you did 90 miles on it, right? You know every square inch of it. Everybody that fishes out there knows every square inch of it.
Yeah,
I don't understand. No offense, I would love to come fish the Great Miami someday with you guys. Like, I want to get out there and I want to fish it, but I am not going to jump and count because I saw somebody catch a 21 or 22 inch smallmouth. I'm not going to fly out from California to go fish the Great Miami. Like, I'm not going to come buzzard your spots, Like, that's, I don't see that as like a realistic thing. I don't know what it's like living there. I know what it's like living here, and it doesn't really matter whether you burn your spot or not because there's already 200 people on it. They're just not there when you're there.
You guys have a ton of water too.
Yeah. We
here
really
in Ohio, like you got a couple rivers to fish, and then I don't know. There's maybe one big lake per county.
Okay. Yeah.
There's not much water around here. A lot of fishermen.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. Like, and I've heard other people on other podcasts that talk about Ohio fishing and you know, how very minute it is to have active water, you know, active fishing water anyways, you know, like you can find a runoff anywhere, but to actually have fish in it's, you know, it's very limited. And out here we do have a lot of water, but we also got a lot more people too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
It's California.
I feel like the ratio is pretty similar, to be honest. But also, growing up in Southern California, I mean, Oliver was talking about it because he was growing up a little bit like northeast of me in LA. I was talking to Oliver Nye the other day or last night about fishing in Southern California, and like I didn't know that all that fresh water was there, and I grew up out that way. You know, we had like 2 park ponds or 3 park ponds, and that's all the real fresh water that I was introduced to. Other than that, we had to like go up into the mountains, you know, so Go ahead.
Is it like a San Diego area? Didn't that have like a bunch of real good fisheries?
2 hours away, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not too far though.
Yeah, no, it's not. But at the same time, it wasn't like if somebody gave me a rod and reel and we were just like, we would be hanging it off the pier, you know, hanging an anchovy off the pier, or like going out to these barges off Catalina Island and basically hanging up anchovy off the barge in Catalina Island. It wasn't like, oh, let's get in the car and let's go chase a fish that I've never even heard of before. Like bass fishing wasn't like a concept when I was a kid. Like it was like when you were in school, were you like, yeah, I do bass fishing, or was it just like every other activity? I just kind of do it all.
No, like I said at the beginning, there was a time where we didn't really fish because my dad sold his boat. So
yeah,
in high school I wasn't fishing.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't know because I've talked to some people and they're like, yeah, I didn't tell anybody. And then other people like Josh Renko, who's like, yeah, I had the Bassmaster magazine on my desk, you know, like was not afraid.
That wasn't me.
Yeah.
I remember watching Bill Dance Bassmasters on Sundays, ESPN back in the day.
Yeah.
That was about it.
Yeah. So the catch, we're going to backtrack a little bit. So the catch has ended. You're onto this new avenue in life. What's, and you said possibly a possible return. I would be super happy if you guys did. Let me know. Just don't call it the B-hole angler, and I don't care.
Good idea.
It's the B side of hole angler. No. So what do you have? Do you have any like plans or agendas for the future going forward? Like I know that you've got a career change. You basically you get to work from home part of the week, right? Or you always
yeah. I'm an estimator now for a company that does work for the ADA.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of home modifications and stuff for disabled people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I drive around the state of Ohio and I estimate jobs, and on Fridays I draw the drawings and get them ready to be packaged and sent to the state, Medicare.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
But other than that, like plans outside of that, just gonna do the dad thing, and then see what everything looks like. I don't know, next year maybe.
Honestly, Brad, like I know you're not one for words, you know, like I know you don't like small talk. You're having a daughter. You're gonna learn small talk.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but it's gonna be awesome. I feel like this is gonna be such a fun time for you. Like I really think that you're gonna have it. Are you like just inside super excited and outside super just cool, or are you like scared, or like what's kind of going through your mind, man?
I'm excited. I keep like having visions of me just like sitting out on the couch and like holding her like this. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be cool and weird at the same time.
Yeah, dude, it is. That's super rad. Are you scared at all? Are you kind of like nervous or anything, or is it all excitement?
Yeah, it's all excitement. I don't think I'm nervous. My wife's nervous. She's like, I don't want to give birth.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of late for that.
Yeah, a little too late. You should have thought about that first.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I'm nervous at all. The only thing that makes me nervous is like probably when they're older, like them getting into trouble or something, and then you having to worry where they're at. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
Yep. I got that dose a few years ago. I think my son was like 4. He was 4. He had developed a good sense of humor. So we went to well, he's always been funny, but like he's got a really good sense of humor now. But we went to Target, and then go get some, what do they call it, Cat and Jack or whatever their little clothing line is. He needed some new clothes, so we go to Target. We get into the clothing aisle, and I'm like looking through some stuff, and I turn around, gone.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, huh. And so I'm like, oh, he probably just went around the corner to look at a toy or hat or something, I'm wandering around the little boys section, and like I'm trying to be cool about it and like, hey buddy, Eli, hey, like looking for him, and I'm definitely getting like more and more concerned by the second, because like the ghost factor is so scary, like it's just a weird feeling, and so I'm like, now I'm getting kind of nervous. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, what did I do when I was a kid? So I started ripping open racks, trying to find out where he was hiding.
Yep.
And finally, I feel his tap on my back, and I turn around. He's all, boo! I was like, where? Like, I lost him. Where have you been? What have you been doing? Like, I just was upset, Like, it's just been building. So, like, poor 4-year-old, I exploded on him. Where have you been? What have you been doing? Like, where did you go? He's like, I was following you the whole time. Like, he was like sneaking behind from rack to rack. And like, I was like,
oh, dang, that's awesome.
And of course, like at the time, it's not funny. So I'm like, that's not funny. You can't be doing that kind of shit. Like people will take you if you're not looking, like you need to stay close to me. I freaked out, and looking back on it, I'm like, I looked back on it later that day and I was like, that's kind of funny. And I was like, hey buddy, like, that's not really good to do at the store. We can do that around the house a lot. I'm fine with that, but don't do it at the store. But that was really funny. Like you got me really good. He's all, I didn't I? Because he'd been like he knew he was in trouble, so he wasn't like ruffling no feathers for a while. And so finally I kind of broke that uneasiness with like, that was funny. Like, but we got to learn where and when to do it. Yeah. So that whole like not knowing where they are, it's a,
yeah. Oh, I bet.
Yeah, dude.
That's funny you bring that up too, because there was a time we were walking into Meijer, and my mom went off one way, and then out of nowhere, this lady grabs my arm and starts dragging me with her, and I'm fighting her, sitting here doing this, and she turns around and looks at me and like, let's go. I was like, what just happened? She thought I don't know if she thought she grabbed her son or but I was like, I'm trying to get away.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? My dad, me, woman? Yeah, it was weird. That's a core memory too.
Yeah.
I don't remember how old I was, but I was like 4 maybe. But my dad made us hold on to the cart too all the time because I would touch everything.
Yep. Hands in the cart. You can ride the cart on the front or the back, not on the side, because they tip, but
yeah,
I tell my kids the same thing. That's what my mom told us. That's what I tell my kids. You can ride on the cart, front, back, but not on the side.
We doing it like that. Put your arms in the basket.
Yep.
Stand there like a mast on a pirate ship.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, dude. Oh. All right, Brad, we're getting to the end. This is the script that I was talking about earlier. This is the only scripted part of this show, but it's not even really a script. It's just a list of questions that I'm going to get to. Before that, is there anything you would like to say to the general public regarding anything at all? Like your...
Sure. Stop messaging me so much, guys. Jeez, freaking Louise. I get messages like crazy. I'm just joking, but seriously.
Yeah.
People need to calm it down a little bit.
Well, thank you for the last, 8 years of podcasting? Or wait.
6.
6 years. Thank you for the last 6 years of podcasting, because you brought a lot of information to people in a really fun way. And I just want to say thank you. So
I've learned a lot doing it. So that's the main reason why I started doing it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, and that's the thing is you guys told me you're going to enjoy learning more about fishing and people by doing this, right?
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, I just want to ask him some weird questions and, call that a day. But dude, like you are 100% right. Like the stuff that I've learned from people and the relationships that I've slowly built through this, dude, it's awesome. Like first off, we're friends, which is super cool. But dude, I mean,
the networking is big, but you're going to see a big elevation in your fishing too. Like you're going to start catching more consistent big fish because doing this whole podcast thing, just because you're talking with people about it.
Yeah.
And stuff gets stuck in your head and you learn.
Well, I know you don't like them, but I fished a spot that I fish pretty often. I went out there with my kayak and I was just pre-fishing for the next Jigs and Bigs tournament. And I caught over 200 inches on a frog alone.
How many fish? 200.
Oh no, it's a total. It's a slot limit tournament. It's best 5, 200 inches. No, like
I was gonna say 10 fish.
Yeah, slot limit tournament. From 12 to 17 inches is the slot. Dude, you should do it.
Well, I remember Bobby asking me. He's like, "You should do it." I'm like, "Well, there's bad news. I can't." He said, "Why not?" I said, "I don't catch anything below 17."
Then get the multi-species and catch all your trash fish again.
I was just joking with him.
I know. Yeah, dude, you should though. I think it would be I think you guys would have a good time, and then you could fish against me, and then we could see who's better. Just kidding. You guys are gonna beat my pants off, but I did catch 200 inches on a frog by itself, and that's like a chatterbait spot. And I went and I threw a bunch of chatterbaits after that and caught a bunch more, but I caught 15 fish on a frog. Like
that was
it
fun.
Was stupid. It was dumb. I mean, and I'm telling you, these like 13-inch fish, their heads were like they're just an odd proportion fish. Like they just have these massive heads and arched backs, and like I'll send you some photos. Like little do people know I actually do go fishing, and I do have pictures of fish. I just don't post them on my social medias, but I'll send them to you. So
I know I heard you talking about that with Oliver and I.
Yeah.
I was like, man, they're talking about me because I post every picture of a fish I catch.
Well, I wasn't necessarily a shot at you. It was more an idea that getting out that idea that like the fishing portion is like that's my saving grace. Like that's my personal mental time of fun and enjoyment and passion that I don't necessarily need to share with the world. Every now and then I do, but for the most part, like I just share it with my close homies, and like that's what it is, you know?
It's like my brand, I guess. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Well, dude,
I love it.
Catch ridiculous smallmouth too. If I was on that level of catch, I'm not going to show a bunch of 1.5 pounders, 2 pounders, like it's.
Yeah. I got my standards too. Like I won't post anything like 16 or under. I don't post them. It's whatever. Just throw them back.
I caught 60 fish, but here's the 3 from today.
Yeah. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. Dude, that's phenomenal because you catch monster smallmouth, and I only see a handful of people in your area catching these these larger size smallmouth. So, I mean, you're in the upper echelon in your area. Like you know what you're doing. So, enter the Jigs and Bigs tournament with me. It's the July slot limit. It'll be fun. I'll catch largemouth. You catch smallmouth. You can beat my pants off, and then you can talk smack to me all day. It'll be great.
I haven't had a good year though this year. It's been really slow numbers wise. So,
really.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a numbers spot though? Like, do you have a spot where you're like, I can go catch a bunch of little shakers over here? Well, we call them shakers. Everybody else calls them like dinks or whatever. Like I can catch a bunch of them.
Not really. I don't know.
I don't focus on those.
No, I was gonna say usually when I go to the river, I'm trophy hunting.
Yeah.
I try to find the biggest one.
Yeah. That makes sense. It makes sense. Now, okay, real quick, we are going to talk a little fishing before we get to these questions. What's a telltale sign for you where there's going to be large fish in this area? What is the one thing that you look at or the one thing that you notice where you're like, you know what? I know there's some big ones in here. I mean, it's not like a dock post, but like, what's your telltale? Like, is it a gut feeling or?
No, like on a river, like everything's visual on a river.
Yeah.
So whenever I come across like the deep water or not deep, deep water, but whenever I come across like a riffle that goes into deep water and you see the banks that are steep and have like either riprap, man-made riprap, or rocks, and then the rocks on the bottom, I almost guarantee you there's going to be a big fish there somewhere in that area. So what I like to do when I come across those areas is I find an access spot where I can access it single if I'm not doing a float, whether that be 3 miles down the river, and I put in, motor up 3 miles just to fish that area, which I do all the time because it's hard to get to any other way. So
yeah, I've seen some of your put-ins. It's nuts.
yeah, well, that's the river, the river around Dayton. Not easy to put in. There's a couple spots where you can, slide in pretty easy, but a lot of the times it's just dragging down hills and stuff and dragging back up hills and whatever.
Yeah. All right. So that's your thing, is you're looking for like a steep and knowing that there's some sort of hard bottom.
Yep.
Steep wall and hard bottom. Okay.
Yeah, I like fishing the deeper water on the river more than anything. Seems like that's where the bigger fish are that I catch.
So what's deeper to you, by the way? Like, I know it's a river, so it's going to be relative to the river itself, but
anything
deep?
over 6 feet.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
But we have 30-foot holes here on the river. Like I've caught fish in those areas too. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, like, I'm shallow fishing till 15 feet. And then I'm like, all right, it's deep now.
Yeah. Which I've gotten a lot better at this over the years because there's a reservoir that I fish up north where it's just riprap around the whole bank of the whole lake. And then it drops to 40 feet and then it's flat. It's just a drinking water reservoir for the city up there. So I've learned how to fish deep, like, because that place forces you to fish deep. So I'm going 25 or let's say 15 to 35 feet. And I've actually learned how to fish doing that.
Yeah, you're going to hit those ledge lines like super hard, like in 20 feet, 25 feet. You're like, all right, cool. They're probably, if they're on the bottom, they're going to come up to get this. And if they're on the edge, they're going to chase it down. Got it.
Yep.
All right.
It's just a patience game. Like when I first started doing that back then, it's just like throwing 3/4 ounce. I'm like, man, I wonder how long it takes to get to the bottom. It doesn't take as long as you think.
No, it doesn't. No. Quarter ounce, it takes a minute, but
yeah, probably takes
half ounce and over.
I could say like my Ned rig will get down to the bottom in 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah, but at the bottom where you assume it is and where it actually is two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like, because those things do this whole, and it depends on how slack your line is. Like it's. Yeah.
And the other thing is, when I tell people that want to learn how to fish deep, I'm like, visualize what 30 feet is. Grab a tape measure, run it out 30 feet, and look at the end of it. It's
3 kayaks.
Yeah, it's not that deep when you look at it like that. But in your head, when you're on the water, you're like, holy crap, 30 feet's deep. It's not really that deep.
That was one of the first things I learned fishing the Delta Wednesday night tournaments. I was doing Wednesday nighters for a little bit on the California Delta. And I was like, dude, it's getting deep, bro. It's like 12 feet. He's like, bro, this boat is 21 feet. You're fine. 12 feet ain't nothing. Yeah. I was like, oh. And then it kind of put it in perspective of what shallow and deep really are. And then living in California, like almost everything is just, I mean, minus the Delta, everything's pretty damn deep, dude. So like, I really want you to come out here. Like, I really want you and Matt. I want to get you guys out here. I got moving water if you only want to fish moving water, but I got a bunch. I know you don't like largemouth. I won't.
No, I would go fish for them still.
Yeah, I want to take you guys out on the water out here. I think you guys. I want to see how you guys would do out here because you guys are, pretty honed in on your spot, and like coming out here, you can fish all day on a couple smallmouth spots, and like chances of catching one are real slim.
I believe it.
Yeah, they're smart. You can sit there and they're just looking at your thing. And they're just like, all right, cool. Well, no, I've seen that 1,000 billion times. Like
crazy.
Yeah. So, but it's really fun. Like when you start catching, and at the end of the day, we'll all go walk my creek and we'll have BFS and we'll catch like 100 little spotties and meanmouth. Like it's so fun. Yeah. So,
that does sound fun.
Yeah, dude. So let me know. I know you kind of up to September, you guys kind of are planned out, and I'll probably say another year after that before you guys decide to start doing vacations. But when you want to do a vacation, come out here.
My sister's out that way too, like I said. So
that's 400 miles from here.
Yeah, that's crazy, but still make it a week trip.
Yeah, that's like the Shaft. I live near like the tip.
That's
You know what I'm saying? So, all right. With that being said, Bradley Hicks, let's get into these questions. First question: who's your favorite angler and why?
Oh, dude, I don't know. Like, does it have to be like, I don't know, professional?
Doesn't have to be anybody famous, bro. Who's your favorite angler and why?
I say, like, when I'm listening to your show, I'm trying to think of my answers just in, in preparation. I don't know. I don't watch much people on YouTube. Like, I've more than anything, I've probably watched Greg Blanchard.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
He's a good dude, man.
Yeah, I like watching him fish. And then, like, if we're going to talk professional guys, I'm going to probably say Matt Robertson. Not because of his fishing, just because he's an idiot.
He's so funny.
And I can relate to him because I'm kind of like that.
Yes. No, he's so funny. I love him.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. All right. Cool. So, Blanchard, GB, and Onum. That's your two.
Yep.
Greg's actually really cool. Like, I've met him and talked to him in person. Like, he's not a,
Matt's kind of off-put by him.
I totally I didn't sabotage him, but I bombarded him on behalf of you guys because I got nothing to lose, and I felt really bad. But we've talked since then. He's a really cool guy. He's genuinely like a dope dude. Like,
you should go up to him next time. Did you text Matt back? Did you text Matt back?
Did you text Matt back about the podcast that's not there right now?
He's like, they might come back if you text him back.
Oh, they're waiting on you. The show rides on you. No, poor guy. He's actually he's a really kind individual. Like
he seems like it.
He's very cool. All right. Spend a day with anyone.
That's easy. You.
Me?
Yeah, dude. I want to come out there, like, go fishing. That'd be awesome.
Hell yeah, dude. We would have. If anything, I guarantee you laughs. I can't guarantee you fish. I mean, I can guarantee you creek fish, but I can't guarantee you fish. But I can guarantee we're gonna have a good time.
Heck, dude. Most people don't see it, but on the river, like, I act like an idiot. My friend Justin and Matt know, but there's a bike path that follows along the river here, almost along the whole length. And when there's people riding by, they can't see us on the river because we're down low, hidden by trees. So I make weird noises at them. I just go, woo! Stupid stuff like that. And then sometimes people do it back. And then when I'm with Matt, one of my favorite lines is, "Show me your butthole." So I scream that really loud when people are riding by.
Oh,
yes.
Like,
what the heck?
Oh, yes. I'll take you to a spot where there's a bike path right next to a river. Oh, it's a reservoir, but it's still moving water, and
you'll definitely see that if I ever make it out there.
You will.
I like to do the thing too. If there's other guys fishing around me, like on the bank or kayak, I'll be like, "Whoa, 4-pounder!"
Yeah,
and they'll sit there and like turn around real fast and look like, "What?"
Dude. You just reminded me. I was in my first kayak derby. I talked to you guys. I was in my first kayak, the Yakabas tournament, and it was a terrible storm. Like, just the cove where I was just trying to stay alive in was like, it just wasn't producing. The fish were on the other side of the lake, and a bunch of people caught them out there. But like, we just weren't producing in this area. And this one guy was going up to fish this stretch of docks, and this other guy was like paddling away. He's all, "Hey, you missed it, dude. I just caught a 22-incher out of there. Ain't nothing left, blah, blah, blah." And he kept paddling off. I was like, "Dang, he caught a 22-incher." I caught him back at the ramp. I'm all, "Bro, so what was that 22-incher spot like, dude? Like, that's got to be like a mean fish." He's all, "Oh, no, I was just fucking with that guy." I was like, "Oh, that's so good."
That's awesome. People, that is one of my most hated things that people do on the river. Did you catch anything? Oh, did you catch anything? I hate that. Yeah. So every time somebody asks me when I catch anything, I'm like, nope. I just lie to them.
Dude, you gotta, come on, man.
And that goes back to the small talk thing. That's just me avoiding the small talk.
Just tell them herpes, AIDS, dysentery. I got all these things out here.
And I'll go the long way around. I did this a couple weeks ago. There was a guy right at the pullout where I was taking the kayak out.
Mm-hmm.
I went downstream past him and pulled up this super steep bank, probably like a 60-degree incline, pulled my kayak all the way up just so I could avoid talking to him.
You told me that. I was like, wow, dude. That's awesome.
I didn't want to talk to him.
You should just put both headphones in and don't have any music playing. Just be like,
well, I kind of thought about that. And then there was like a group of raft teenagers, like 3 rafts of teenagers floated by me the other day. And they did it. They asked me like 5 times, "You catch anything? Did you catch anything?" I didn't reply to them. I didn't look at them. And they floated by. They're like, "All right, cool talk." I still didn't even look at them or anything.
Cool story.
See ya.
Oh, I love it. Okay. All right.
We'd have fun though.
We would, dude. And thank you. And we will make that happen. I'm putting that out here right now. I'm putting that out in the ether. We're going to make that happen, dude. Like you guys are going to get hired. We're going to go fishing and we're going to have a good ass time. I promise.
Yeah.
All right. Biggest fear, dude. What's your biggest fear right now?
Needles. I hate needles, dude. I'm supposed to go get my blood drawn for just checkup stuff.
Yeah.
I've been putting it off for 2 months now. I don't do it. I would be a bad meth head.
Yeah. Well, we can tell you've never been a drug addict, so you're good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't like needles at all.
It's actually more common than you think, so that's awesome. All right. Have you ever been broke because of fishing?
I probably wouldn't say broke, but like there's probably been times where, I definitely spent too much money I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Especially with the kayak thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh crap, I shouldn't have done that.
Yep.
It happens.
I got a brand new one objective plate right over here. It's getting ready to go in the kayak right now. And I'm like, man, I should not have gotten that thing. But
yeah,
I did anyways. So
buyer's remorse or something. Is that what they call it?
No, I could have cut my own and fabricated it and made it all special.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
particular myself. Like I could have, like I pride myself on doing stuff like that, but I didn't want to deal with it at the time. I just don't have the time. So I'm like,
yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah. So, okay. What's your biggest struggle right now?
I don't even know, man. That one's a tough one.
Small talk.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
That's just annoying.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good, dude. Like,
what
struggles come and go, dude. Mine, balance, time. Like,
oh, okay.
So I have zero. I'm a horrible balancer. In fact, I'm actually horrible at my health right now. Like, I'm not feeling good, and instead of like taking the proper steps and doing all this extra stuff, I went back to I revert to my what I call my go-tos, which I'm living right now. I am alive and talking to you off Dayquil and caffeine alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Dayquil is horrible for you. The amount of acetaminophen and stuff in it is terrible for you. But it's the only reason I'm not like,
yeah.
Even though I probably have been all over this mic. Sorry, everybody. But like, yeah. So, like, and I'm in a balance thing where it's like I hyper focus on one thing, and then I hyper focus on the next thing, and then I hyper focus on. I can't just evenly space my time and give everybody the proper amount needed. So I'm in a real big balance, and that's my struggle right now.
I think I have one. I think mine is motivation, and that goes for anything. Like, with the gym. Like, there's been days lately where I'm just like, I don't want to go.
Dude, you're a rat though. You go to the gym all the time.
Yeah, I hardly ever miss, but like lately, it's just been like I don't feel like doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been stuff like anything. Like I'm supposed to like making daily posts and stuff for different brands or something. I don't feel like doing that. I don't know. I just haven't been motivated to do stuff lately.
Do you feel like that's a part of the burnout, or do you feel like that's more like stress induced?
No, I'm definitely not stressed. It's definitely burnout.
Okay. Yeah. It's just fucking burnt. You're just smoked right now. And that's cool. Like, that's okay to be like, the fact that you are like, yo, I'm burnt out and I'm just not going to do anything. That's like a healthy decision for yourself, to be honest. Like, that's cool. But I could see how motivation would be like a major struggle, especially in the depths of burnout. All right. Major life accomplishment, like your life hammer, something you can like beat your chest on and be like, I did that.
I thought about this one too. Like, I've never done anything cool. I don't know.
What are you talking about? You've never done anything cool, dude. So you had a successful podcast career for the last 6 years.
Well,
you have a child on the way. You have excelled your career to the point where you can now work from home and you no longer have to pick up a hammer. Like, you have done all these things in your life. Like, you've caught massive fish in a place where people barely catch anything. So like, there's a lot of success there.
Well, yeah, that's like the normal human success. Like, when you asked that question, I was thinking of something really cool.
Oh, okay.
That like people have done that not many other people have done. I don't know. I get the coolest thing I've done fishing wise was catch that 21.5-inch smallmouth last year.
Yeah, dude.
There's only like maybe 3, 4, 5 guys in Ohio that have done that.
Dude. Yeah, dude.
On an inland river in Ohio.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Hell yeah. And hey, you don't have like, it's not a keeping up with the Joneses question, because everybody's life experience is different. You know, everybody has different experiences in their life. Like, some people are like, dude, it's my kids. Like, my kids are, you know, Brian Carpenter was on here and he's like, dude, my kids. Like, that guy's done so much in construction industry and fishing industry. Like, he's done so much. And he's like, dude, my kids. You know, like,
yeah,
his life experience, that was his top. You know, I've had other people like, I won a trophy in a Bassmaster thing. Like, that's like Trinko. Like, that's huge. Like, that major,
would be cool.
You know? Right. But
I probably would never say something career related though, just because I don't think career is cool. It's something I have to do.
yeah, right. Yeah, we all have to have a job because the barter system and food trade is just not acceptable yet. Hopefully the dollar goes away. And
life sucks and then you die.
Well, you got to pay taxes first, then you die.
I don't have motivation to do that.
All right. Okay, so have you ever had a lesson that you learned on the water that you've been able to implement in your life?
Patience. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of patience to fish, especially on the tough days. Man.
Yeah. January. Yeah.
There's I don't know. There's probably, I was going to say something. I just can't remember how I was going to say it. But there's actually something I've learned in the real world that I've taken out on the water. I just can't remember what it was.
I was going to say, yeah, what's the vice versa of that then?
Yeah. I was thinking about this.
Screaming obscenities at people.
Jeez. I don't know. Yeah, patience is the big thing, man. Like, I feel like you got to have a lot of patience in life and when you're fishing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, and you're about to learn a whole new patience. And it doesn't come in the first year. It comes in like the second and the third year where you're like, okay. You're just going to sit here in front of Bluey and I'm going to go in the other room and breathe.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I'd say it like it's a bad thing. It's not. You're going to have an adventure. You're going to have so much fun. All right. What's your biggest mental or emotional block, dude? Like, what shuts you down?
What shuts me down?
Yeah. What's your block? Like, you know,
like, I guess it'd go hand in hand with the motivation thing, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing that first comes to my mind.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, it's a question I wrote only because, like, okay, for instance, like in my experience, I've done a lot of therapy and I've done a lot of stuff because I was a knucklehead growing up. And so when somebody starts to escalate their voice at me, like, everything just turns off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
no, yeah, I get what you're saying now.
All right. If we're gonna elevate our voices, let's elevate our knuckles. You know, like that's all I know. So I have to like. Okay.
If somebody's crying or something, kind of shuts me down. Like I don't know what to say, so I'm just gonna sit here and be awkward.
Yeah, like you know, it sounds like you like disassociate. Like you're like, okay, cool. Like you're having your feels, and I'm just gonna. When you need a tissue, say something. You know.
Yeah, I know that's probably a bad thing, but like if my wife's crying or something, like I don't know what to do. I'm just like, it'll be okay. I don't know if that's the right thing.
Dude, I can't tell you what the right thing to do is in that situation because I don't know either. I don't understand girls at all. So
yeah. Or if somebody's like having it rough or something. Like even if Matt was telling me his issues or something, like I don't know, dude.
Well, at the same time, sometimes it's when somebody's going through something. I know for a fact that when somebody's going through something, even myself included, sometimes it's better to just say it to somebody. They don't need to solve it. They just need just needs to get it out, and for you to just sit there and listen to it, like,
yeah,
solid. You know, sometimes
that
that's all
sense.
people need. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right,
yep. Makes sense.
Yep. All right. So, where does fishing fit into all this now? Where are we going? Are you going to just keep fishing for yourself and just enjoy, or how's this looking?
Yeah, I'm going to keep catching big smallmouth and posting them on Instagram.
Hell yeah.
That's my thing, dude. I love catching smallmouth.
Dude,
so
if I had more,
that'll never go away.
No. If I've caught a few, but if I had more access to them or a place where I could specifically target them, I feel you on that for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
I will never ditch fishing ever, I don't think. I think it's just ingrained in me now. It's just part of who I am.
It's like it's almost like what do they call it? It's a characteristic of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like to not fish, you would not be you.
Yeah.
So.
And I know I've kind of slowed down this year. I haven't gone as much as I have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was times the last like 5-10 years where I was like 3 to 5 days a week, you know. Yeah. So I'm down to 2 days a week right now. Yeah. And I think it's just the burnout thing, and I got my other hobbies I'm doing now too. So
what do you got on the hobby list right now? Let's hear
it. Just my gaming and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually on a gaming laptop that I have right now. So I've been playing some games on that every night and just hanging out.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I mean,
there's times where I felt like doing that instead of going fishing.
Yeah, dude.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. That's your life. Like, and that is the best thing. Like, what suits me right now?
Yeah.
What will fill my cup right now? Right now, fishing's great, but if I just sat here in the air conditioning and just
that's exactly it, dude.
Yeah.
You know how much I hate the heat. So
yeah. Oh, let's talk about that real quick. You have seasonal affects, but in an opposite. Yeah, I find this so interesting. I'm sorry, we have to stop the questions because I find this absolutely interesting. You are not an energetic person in the summer. Like you do not want summer. You are the I want to stay inside and I don't want to go out and do anything summer. Mm-hmm. And then in the winter, you're like you can't keep you inside. So let's talk about that. Like, can we? Do you mind diving into that a little bit? Like, what's going on and why it affects you so much?
Summertime, like, man, I don't know. It doesn't matter how much water or how much liquid I drink. I end up with these bad headaches at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Like, I get home, I'm peeing clear, so I'm hydrated, but I just get these bad headaches. I don't know why. I've tried Googling it. I can't find answers. I'm not going to go to the doctor for it because it's not a big deal. If I don't go outside for long hours, I don't get headaches.
Yeah.
But it's been that way ever since I was little. I think what really pushes like the seasonal depression thing for summertime is like, because it's like, it seems like every June I get in like a funk. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you're all crabby, even on the chat.
here comes summertime.
Yeah.
And I think that stems from working construction. I was always the guy that did all the very hard labor because the two guys I worked with were 65 and 55. So I was the young guy of the group. They were like, get in that attic.
Yeah.
95 degrees. And I would be up there for hours, like 3-4 hours. I'd come down just drenched, and I'm like, this sucks. I'd be the one to dig holes. I dug footers for decks and stuff. 32 inches wide, 36 inches deep, whatever.
Ugh.
In the middle of summertime until I threw up. I threw up like 4 times on the job site before.
Just puke in the hole and keep going. Yeah.
No, I puked and went home.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's
like,
smart. Yeah.
And then there'd be times where like I would work so hard that I got like the chills in the summertime, and I'm like, yeah, it's time to go home.
Oh yeah, you're gassed. That's major dehydration. Like that's a big deal, and it's a blood thing too. At that point, you're fucking with your circulatory system.
Yep. So the whole summertime thing definitely stems from my time working construction. It's just I hate it.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Cool. Well, if anybody else has some issues with overheating or overexhaustion or headaches, please reach out because we are trying to find a solution for Brad so he can get out in the summer and not be hiding.
I don't sweat well either.
Really?
Yeah, I've always been a guy that doesn't sweat very much.
Oh, I sweat when I eat a meal. I'm a sweaty guy, so
I don't know if that's like some kind of condition I have that I don't know about or what. But
so I'm about to look it up when we get off here and be like, let's figure it out. That sounds interesting. All right. Okay. Last 2 questions. First one. Tell us one thing that nobody knows about you, like a window into who you are.
Oh, man. I don't want to.
No, do it.
I'm just joking.
Yeah. Just do it.
All right. So in my Apple Music, I have Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, and Maroon 5. And I like to jam to them in the car.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
as well as listen to metal.
Dude.
but I've listened to like metalcore and hardcore for so long that like you need something different mixed in there or it all starts sounding the same. So that's I'm
gonna start sending you Wu-Tang tracks.
My wife's a big Taylor Swift fan too, so I downloaded that because she likes it, and it kind of stuck because I'm like, oh yeah, I like this.
Hell yeah, dude! I love it. Oh, I love it. Thank you for saying that. All right.
People are gonna think I'm gay.
No. I'm pretty sure you sitting in front of a pink wall is going to be the best part about it. I'm going to Photoshop it. So
I was going to say, you're going to make a thumbnail with me in the pink background and like air bubbles that says, I like Justin Bieber.
I'm just going to put up the roar with the pony hands with your face. No, I won't do you like awesome. That. Yeah. I'll just do it in the group chat and leave it there. All right. Health, dude. It's a 3-parter. What do you do for hydration, diet, and mental clarity?
Hydration. I always bring out those Gator Lights with me out on the water. The Gator Light Zeros, 0 sugar. Sugar's not good for you when it's hot.
No, it's not.
So, it's like their version of Pedialyte. Have you ever had one?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So if you look at the nutrition facts on the back, you get one of those Gator Light bottles, you get a regular Gatorade bottle, compare them.
Yeah.
It's almost like 4 times the amount of electrolytes in that Gator Light than it is in regular Gatorade. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of glad they brought that out. They don't taste the best, but they're salty. Mm-hmm. They don't have too much salt in them. I got to watch salt too because of my blood pressure.
Yeah.
Which is down now that I've started working out and stuff. But yeah, Gator Light. Have to have one of those. I think that does help me when I'm out there fishing when it's hot. And I drink one after every time I go out.
Awesome. All right. Now what about diet?
Diet, kind of fallen off lately. I had a Dairy Queen last night because I wanted some ice cream.
Hey,
But for breakfast, I'll usually do Greek yogurt, protein powder, and some granola, or overnight oats, which is like oats mixed with milk. You let it sit overnight, then I put protein powder in it, and then it's a chocolate peanut butter protein powder, and then I put melted peanut butter in it in the morning. It is so good.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Ton of protein too. It's like 40 grams protein, 40, 50.
Oh yeah.
And then lunch, I mix it up a bunch. Chicken one week, ground beef another week, or this week I'm eating pastrami sandwiches with a protein bar and some honey roasted peanuts. And then, just whatever for dinner.
Nice. So are you meal prepping for your lunches and stuff, or you just make the same thing every day for a week?
Sometimes I meal prep. When I do the chicken or the ground beef, I'll cook the chicken all together at once, and then I'll portion it out, put it in some Tupperware, and then I just pull it out as I need it each day.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, I try to eat clean, but
you do a pretty good job, man. Like I've seen you've sent me a couple different meals and stuff like that before, so I'm like, hell yeah, man, I'm a guy on this.
Yeah,
hell yeah. So okay, mental clarity. What are you doing for your mental clarity?
Probably the gym.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how much motivation I don't have to go to the gym, and I still go, it makes me feel better. I'm glad I went and did it. You know what I mean? After I'm done, I'm like, that made me feel better.
All right.
It's some, I don't know.
Bro, there's endorphins. Like, no, you're hitting it on all cylinders. Like, there's so many positive aspects for mental clarity when it comes to like physical exertion. You know what I'm saying? You're releasing so many different chemicals in your brain. You're killing, like, you're not killing, but you're breaking down all the, like, I know you don't really do the gym in the morning most of the time. You're more of an afternoon gym. Yeah, you're more of an afternoon.
I can't do morning. It makes me feel weird.
Yeah. So, but what it does do is, like, because you get up in the morning and you go about your day, and then you do the gym at the end of the day. So, look at them biceps. Look at them, dude. My guy, dude. I got like, I got like little BB guns right now. I'm the 22 kilo right now. But the chemicals and stuff that get released, like whether it be the endorphins or the dopamine and stuff like that, that kicks on in your system when you are working out. Like, you're filling T cell receptors with stuff that, how do I say this? Basically, you have T cell producers and T cell receptors, and these chemicals get pushed as T cells from one to another. The more you exert yourself, the more you are eating clean and exercising on a regular basis, your body starts naturally producing this stuff on such a scale that when you're working out, you're basically doing what they call like a runner's high, or like what drug addicts do and like alcoholics do to like fill, because they have this void in them, like they're chemically dependent on certain things. You're creating those chemicals naturally in your body by exercising. And dude, that's awesome, dude. That really does clear your head like a lot.
It does. Like, yeah, like I said, no motivation to go before. Or if you're like just feeling like, whatever, go and work out. Like, your mood like changes. It's weird.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, it feels good. And then I go home and relax, and I'm just like, it's like easy breezy type of thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Hell yeah. No, it's not weird. It's science. Like, and that's,
I know, it's just weird how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So with that, sir, would you like to tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Brad Hicks Fishing, TikTok, Brad Hicks Fishing. I don't really add people I don't know on Facebook. I mean, I don't know. I have like 300 friends on Facebook. Yeah. There was a point in time where I had like a ton of friends, people I didn't know, and then 2020 happened, and people started posting a ton of political stuff, and I was just like, nope. Yeah. Deleted everybody. I was like, I don't care. I don't care about politics. I stay out of that.
Yeah. Smart man. It's crazy how people have assigned themselves their who they are to the way they vote, which is super weird to me. It's so weird. It
drives me nuts.
Look, in all actuality, all of us are somewhere in the middle, but somewhere along the lines, we have been hypnotized into believing that our political party is our personality.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's it's stupid.
Drives me nuts. I was just thinking that the other day. Like, if you base your personality off of who you vote for, you're just a dork.
And that's and that's the whole thing. It gets so. I feel like that's like, if we really want to get into it, that's like the social media and the fear mongering, and all this kind of stuff. Like that's
tribalism.
Yeah, yes, exactly. That's what it's become, and that's how that was created, basically, because it wasn't like that before. And I mean, I could ask my parents about voting. Like, honestly, there hasn't been a good option in a long time. It's always been the lesser of two evils, because they're all still politicians, and they're all still got their own agendas out there, and none of them have my personal best interest in mind.
Yeah.
So I just have to line up with, I have to vote according to what is best for my family, So.
Yeah, and I'm friends with people different opinions and stuff. My wife has completely different opinions than me. It's whatever.
Yep. Yeah. Really, it's no sweat at the end of the day. It's made to be this big monster, and it's not. It really isn't. It's not reality.
When I die, it's not going to matter.
Yeah. You dig up, two different political parties. They're both still skeletons. So.
Who it's going to matter to the most, though, are our kids. But other than that,
that's why I said, like, the way I said, like, I have to vote according to my family.
Yeah,
my family, because what kind of world am I leaving behind me? And in all actuality, what say do I actually have in it? So. Yeah, but we don't have to go down that rabbit hole anymore. Trust me, I'll sit here and chat about that for the next 2 hours. But yeah, dude, bro, thank you for everything. Like, thank you for all of this. Like, I just want to say, like, I love and appreciate you just as a homie, but for all this, like, you didn't have to do all this, and
it was fun.
Like, and then come on and do the whole show. Like, thank you, dude. I really appreciate it.
No, it's fun. I enjoyed it.
Hell yeah. Is there anything else you would like to leave the people with? Like, any jokes or anything like that before you go?
What do you call a cow with no legs?
What?
Ground beef.
What do you call a cow with 3 legs?
I don't know.
Tri-tip.
What do you call a masturbating cow?
What?
Beef stroking off.
Thank you. With that, dude, I'm gonna throw you in the green room, and without further ado, this is the end of this show. Thank you, Brad, for coming on, and thank you for helping me with all this stuff. And if you guys have listened this far, thank you for being a part of this show. Please shoot Brad a giant appreciation and tell him I said, he's gay or something like that. So without